Well, hello and welcome to the Informed Traveler Podcast, a weekly travel podcast where our goal is to help you become a more informed traveler. And I'm your host, Randy Sharman. We're doing something a little different on our show this week. A number of different destinations from Florida, 6 to be exact, plus the folks from Visit Florida were in Vancouver last week, each promoting their specific area of Florida. So I got the chance to chat with all of them in a short meet and greet, speed dating type fashion, asking each of them 3 or 4 questions to get to know what each destination in Florida has to offer. It's something we've never tried before, so what you're going to get is a menagerie of places to visit in Florida outside the major areas like Orlando or Miami or Tampa. So to set the stage, we're going to start things off chatting with Erin Kramer. She is the Public Relations Account Executive for Visit Florida. VisitFlorida.com is their website, and here is that conversation for you now. Tell me about Florida. I think a lot of people know about Florida. A lot of people have been there. It's one of the more popular states in the United States, which you're lucky. You got a lot of things going for you.
Yes, that's right. So at, Visit Florida, we like to say that Florida is the iconic vacation destination, especially for our Canadian travelers. So we have a lot going on and a lot coming up that I know we're going to talk about.
Well, the thing you got, I think, that most Canadians love is the weather. I think a lot of people go for that. So, but we all know that, and I think a lot of things that we know about Florida for people who have visited there. But what are some of the things that they may not know, or some of the things that are coming up, or some things you want to highlight that people may be surprised about Florida?
Yeah, definitely. So I think that one of our most iconic and key differentiators, something that, makes our destination so unique is it's really hard to replicate. I mean, we have a combination of proximity, ease of access, and just an incredible variety of experiences that travelers can do when in the state. And not just the state as a whole, but even if you break it down to each specific destination, you have a place like Miami, for example, where travelers can go and, of course, enjoy the world-class beaches, but there's also that vibrant city life. You have nature, culture, and major events all happening again within that one specific destination. And I think it's that variety combined with the comfort and familiarity that Canadians really value that continues to help Florida lead the charge and set it apart from competitors.
And I think the one thing that Florida does very well is the marketing. I mean, it's one thing to have all those things, but if nobody knows about it, it doesn't really do you much good, does it?
Absolutely. And, we launched towards the end of last year, actually, I don't want to necessarily call it a new brand because, the Visit Florida brand is, and, will always be, positioning our state as the number one vacation destination. But we launched a brand refresh, like we like to call it, which is Live More Floridays. And it's all about touting coming to Florida and finding the new and the known, So for repeat travelers, which we know Canadians often are, it's coming and still enjoying those iconic experiences like the theme parks, but then, taking a day trip, venturing 45 minutes outside of Orlando and discovering one of our beautiful natural springs and spending the day kayaking or paddleboarding, and really honing in and making those new experiences again within those more familiar destinations. So again, that was Live More Floridays. And yeah, we're really excited to have rolled that out.
Well, we are going to be talking about or with a number of people from different areas in Florida. I look at it like a big family. Do they get along well? Like, are people
They
kind
do.
of
They
do
do. It makes the
some
job very
destinations get
easy.
jealous of Orlando or something like that?
You would be surprised, but I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying, how every destination in itself is so unique. So everybody plays very nice in the sandbox, if you will. There's not a lot of competition. Of course, every city, every county, wants to gain as many visitors as they can. But at the end of the day, because our state is expansive, it's very drivable. So, we're really pushing, having travelers come fly into, your major gateway cities, your Tampa, your Miami, your Orlando or Jacksonville. But then it goes back to, renting a car and taking a day trip or, multiple day trips and venturing outside of those gateway cities and, maybe your lesser known or hidden gem destinations, if you will.
Well, yeah, I would suppose the flip side to being jealous of Orlando is saying, boy, we're glad we have Orlando because a lot of people come for that. And then they expand out,
Absolutely.
like you were saying.
Definitely, definitely. And I mean, I absolutely love Orlando. Growing up there, it is the theme park capital of the world, but there's so much more to Orlando. I mean, it was recognized by Michelin back in 2022 for its culinary scene. So that's something to tout. And then again, being in the heart of Central Florida, you have all of those natural springs and rivers and lakes nearby. So really, venturing outside of the theme park capital of the world, if you will. Of course, after spending, a day or two there with your family is always great.
hmm Any special events that are coming up that people might want to mark on their calendars, looking at maybe a trip to Florida?
Absolutely. I mean, of course, we have the FIFA World Cup coming up. That is going to be a key moment here for us in Florida with Miami's Hard Rock Stadium hosting multiple matches, which is including the quarterfinal and the bronze medal games. That's happening June 15th June 15th through July 18th.
Now, I was going to ask, like I said, we're going to talk to a lot of different areas in Florida, more specific areas, but in general, when is a good time to visit in Florida?
To be honest, Florida is such an iconic destination where vacation travelers can create, connect, and share memorable moments year round, really. And, we offer such a range of experiences that are available, to travelers any time of the year. So, for example, I'm based in North Florida in the Panhandle, and to me, it does get relatively cold for a tried and true Floridian. But to the average Canadian, that's still shorts and t-shirt flip-flop weather. So you can still come during those winter, maybe shorter season months and enjoy our beaches or, again, going back to our natural springs or maybe some of our cultural hotspots. So that's always something to be mindful of. Of course, you have springtime, spring break, a lot of areas are wrapping up right now. That's, of course, a very prime and hot time to come. Summer break too, of course. But for me personally, really kind of taking advantage of those shoulder seasons, maybe, where it's not as crowded. It's always a great time to visit.
Anything you want to add, Erin?
I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't just talk about some of our, unique experiences in the state or must-see attractions, if you will, that I think really make the Sunshine State one of a kind. I have to shout out, it's one of my absolute favorite experiences, and it has to be a bucket list experience. But Florida is actually home to the only place in North America where you can legally swim with manatees in their natural habitat. And that takes place in Crystal River, Florida. Again, it's one of those bucket list items where if you've never seen a manatee up close in person, it blows your mind, but they are the most gentle, curious baked potatoes of the sea, if you will. So in Crystal River, you can actually, with a tour guide, go and snorkel with them. It's all passive observation. So of course you have to mind your manatee manners, as we call it. But it's just such a cool, unique thing to do, whether, you're traveling by yourself, with your family. I just think that that's a really unique thing. Of course, I think I would be remiss with the most recent Artemis 2 lunar flyby mission that just took place with NASA. I have to shout out the Kennedy Space Center too, especially for families who are looking for, maybe spring break, summertime travel. In Florida Space Coast, we are home to the Kennedy Space Center, and it is such a cool experience. I remember my first time, I actually didn't visit until college. And I remember going and visiting with my now mother-in-law, who's a STEM teacher. And I remember looking at her saying, I think I picked the wrong major. I should have gone into science, because it's just so mind blowing getting to go and, see the history of NASA, but also, if you time it right, you can watch a rocket launch. And so that's just, really neat and a fun thing to do. And then I think it's no secret that Florida, we really are kind of a mixing pot of, or a melting pot of diverse cultures. And our culinary scene is just next to none. And I think those cultures that, our state is comprised of, it really builds into our culinary scene. So you have everything from authentic, Hispanic food. We have, of course, I call Florida a pescatarian's paradise. So an endless supply of seafood. I always coin our tide to table. So we have the fishermen will go out, catch their food, bring it into some of these local restaurants where they're preparing the dishes right then and there for you, which is, again, next to none. We also have, of course, in our Central Florida area, a lot of agro-tourism. So because we have such beautiful weather year round, we're able to grow a lot of our vegetables, produce, fruit year round, and, sell that to the local restaurants. So I mentioned Tide to Table, but of course, Farm to Table too. And, we have a culinary scene that's next to none.
Well, people can get more information on your website, visitflorida.com. Erin Kramer is the public relations account executive for Visit Florida. Starting off our, I don't know what you call this, speed dating with Visit Florida, visit all the different destinations.
We can go with that, yeah.
Appreciate your time, Erin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Randy.
So let's get to each individual Florida destination now. And leading off our list is Michael Hogan. He's the Senior Communications Advisor with Visit Central Florida, or more specifically, as we'll find out, he represents the area of Polk County. So here's our conversation with Michael. Just to avoid any confusion, when we talk about Central Florida and we go on your website, Visit Central Florida, what we're really talking about for our listeners today is Polk County. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. Yes, we're located right on Interstate 4, which is the main artery between east and west through the state of Florida, between Tampa and Orlando. But we don't represent either one of those destinations. We represent Polk County, Florida only.
Okay, so let's talk about Polk County. What makes that area unique?
Well, I mean, when you talk about us, we're located really between two titans of tourism within the state of Florida. Two of the titans between the Orlando area and the Tampa Bay area, St. Pete, Clearwater area. So a lot of times when people are driving from east to west on I-4, they don't realize that they're going through Polk County. And what they also don't realize is the unbelievable amount of stuff that we have to offer that is right off of Interstate 4. The thing that makes us so unique and attractive is that when you come and you stay in Polk County, you're going to get what we look at as the real authentic Florida. As our catchphrase says, it's the real Florida magic. But also you're going to get affordability and value. Whereas it may be a little more expensive to stay in the Orlando area, the Disney area, or right along in Tampa Bay, or the beaches of St. Pete and Clearwater, you're going to get a lot more value by staying in Polk County, Florida. Yet you're still going to be able to branch out and hit those other destinations as well, while also enjoying everything that we have to offer.
So what are some of the attractions along that way, must-see stops and some of the activities that people can enjoy?
Well, the big fish in our pond, I like to say, is Legoland, Florida, which is on the grounds of the old Cypress Gardens water park property. But Legoland, Florida, which also houses that area, Peppa Pig theme park, the new Sea Life Florida Aquarium, the Legoland Florida Water Park, and it also has 2 hotels right on site. So it's a great one-stop shop for families that want to come visit. And then just recently, within the last 2 months, Legoland Florida opened the new Galacticoaster indoor roller coaster ride, which is unbelievable. So really, families that that have children in the age range of 2 to about 13 to 14 years old, that's right in their wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an attraction that is available really for children, I say, of all ages, because everybody loves Legos.
I love Legoland.
but aside from that, a must-see attraction, and it's one of my favorite places in Polk County, is Bok Tower Gardens in Lake Wales, Florida. It's Bok Tower is a 508-foot singing carillon tower that was the vision of Edward Bach back in the 1920s. The whole property is on. It's a historical landmark. So it's an unbelievable place to go back and to step back into time, walking through the botanical gardens, up the hill of Iron Mountain, up to what opens up to the Singing Tower. That is actually played by one of the preeminent carillon composers in the world, Geert Hollander. So cool. That's a must stop, along with Frank Lloyd Wright, the largest collection of his work in one place in the world is located at Florida Southern College in Lakeland. And then all of the culinary options that we have, in addition to everything else that we offer. But those are some of the main things that we offer in Polk County.
So if you're taking me out for lunch in Polk County, what's a dish that I should try that you would recommend that's local?
Well, what our heritage in Polk County, what we hang our hat on is barbecue. We are the home of the Triple Crown of barbecue in the state of Florida. There are more champion barbecue competition teams that come out of Polk County and Central Florida than any other part of the state. So there are everything from elite barbecue restaurants right down to your local mom and pop type barbecue restaurants that are right, off the side of the road type places that are absolutely exceptional. That's what we are known for.
Barbecue and Lego. Good enough for me.
Absolutely.
People can find out more information at visitcentralflorida.com or Polk County. More specifically, Michael Hogan is the Senior Communications Advisor for Visit Central Florida. Great chatting with you, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Randy, it was my pleasure. Thanks so much.
Up next, we're going to hear all about Ocala, Marion County. And joining us now to do that is Jessica Heller. She is the Marketing and Communications Supervisor for Ocala, Marion County. OcalaMarion.com is their website. Hello, Jessica.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I'm excited to hear about Ocala, Marion County because I have no idea where it is. So tell me that first and then tell me what makes it unique.
It's a great place to start. So Ocala, Marion County is located about an hour and 10 minutes north of Orlando, right in the middle of Florida. So you have about an hour both directions to the coast. So very easy to access, located, really very accessible. Tampa, it's about an hour and 20 minutes.
Nice. Okay, so what makes that area unique then?
So Ocala, Marion County specifically, what makes us so special is very connected. So I kind of like to start there. We have the Florida Aquifer, which feeds our beautiful springs that you can explore running underneath our ground. So that aquifer, actually, the fresh water feeds the springs, which is actually one of the reasons why we're the horse capital of the world. So we have more horses in our destination, more horse breeds and horse varieties than any other place in our condensed area. So it also provides those nutrients for the grass. And then it also kind of shapes the terrain that is our destination that you wouldn't necessarily think of Florida. So we have incredible mountain biking trails. We have fantastic zip linings through canyons. So you have a lot of changes in terrain that you don't expect for the state. And that is a big part because about 100 years ago, there was a lot of mining in the area because our ground is so nutrient dense. So it's really all connected with how much nutrients runs through our area via the Florida Aquifer.
Well, I would imagine that zip lining would be one of the activities that people
Yes.
love and being outdoors. But what are some of the must-see attractions and other things people like to do in that area?
So in addition to ziplining, I did mention the springs. One of the top things to do when it comes to the springs is we have glass bottom boats at Silver Springs State Park. That is an iconic tradition that people love to do. It's a great way to see the stunning springs that are really as clear as a pool and just quite literally, we call us the Florida's natural wonder. So you go and you see turtles and manatees and alligators, and you're in the boat, so you don't need to worry about the alligators in that respect. But you can do the glass bottom boat and see the springs right underneath you, and that's truly a fantastic experience. Only a 30-minute boat ride, so it's very easy to hop on the boat, explore the park, grab lunch after. We also have our downtown Ocala area is really brimming with culture. We have murals everywhere. I'd say 20 plus local restaurants and a lot of boutique shopping, art galleries, events happening on the historic square all year. So that's kind of a place to go always for dinner and for a good dose of culture for the area. And then our newest kind of attraction, we like to say it's a destination within our destination, is World Equestrian Center. So they're the largest equestrian facility in the country. I think they're aiming for getting to say in the world soon. They keep building. But they're not just an equestrian facility, they're a resort. They have multiple hotels on property. They have equestrian horse events and horse shows going all year long. And they have, I believe it's now 11 or 12 restaurants on site, including pastry shops and 5-star dining to everything that's fast casual too. So it's a really great location that is kind of a all-in-one spot as well.
So if you're a horse lover, this is a great place to be, I would think, right?
Yes, definitely. So in addition to the World Equestrian Center, they did pick to build in Ocala, Marion County for a reason, and that's because we are the horse capital. You can go horseback riding on our nature trails, or you can even do a horse farm tour too and get up close and personal to a lot of the different horses. Everything from champions that have raced in the Kentucky Derby, and you can feed them a peppermint, to petting a Clydesdale, which from a farm that actually has provided Budweiser Clydesdales in the past.
Cool.
So really you have a great all-around horse experience, whether you're an expert or a beginner when it comes to horses.
Any special events coming up?
Yeah, so summertime specifically for Ocala and Marion County is the time to be outdoors and splash around, enjoy the springs and cool off. We do have, as I had mentioned, World Equestrian Center, locals call it WEC. World Equestrian Center does a summer series that's about 10 weeks, and the prize winnings are up to $3 million. So that's really fun to just go and see. The events are free to attend. So you can go have dinner, watch the show, stay on the property if you want, or just kind of walk around and shop. So that's a fun thing to do. It's from June through August. So really you can pick any of those times if you want to make sure that you go and see that.
Mm-hmm.
The festival season and really the event season starts to pick up in the fall. So you have October and November when you start to get a lot of festivals. The Ocala Food and Wine Festival brings in celebrity chefs. You have a incredible arts festival in downtown Ocala, and then it starts to pick up with some Christmas lights and things like that too. So the event season really picks up in the fall.
Now, if you're taking me for lunch, what food would you recommend on the menu?
So a really great iconic dish in our destination is gator bites. There's a couple places you can get those right on the river. There's a river called the Rainbow River, and that's fed by Rainbow Springs, one of our freshwater springs. And there's two restaurants, the Blue Gator and Gator Joe's. So they both have Gator in the name also, that are right on the water that you can have your food, looking over the water on the deck under umbrella, and Gator Bites is a fun, iconic one to do for that. If you're looking for something else, we do have a local celebrity chef, Rashad Jones. He owns Bigley's Barbecue, and he's actually been on the Food Network a number of times. He's been on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. He's been on Master of Q. He's beat Bobby Flay. So he's a fun one to go in. He's always in the restaurant too. So you go and a lot of times you order straight from him. And he always loves to get your story as to what brings you to the area.
People can check out your website to plan their trip, OcalaMarion.com, and Jessica Heller is the Marketing and Communications Supervisor for Ocala Marion County. Enjoyed our chat, Jessica. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Randy.
This is the Informed Traveler Podcast. I'm Randy Sharman. Just want to remind you of our website, theinformedtraveler.org. That's where you can find our contact page if you have any questions or comments about the podcast. You can also email me too with any questions you might have. My email address is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And you can check out our social media pages too at facebook.com/informedtraveler, Instagram @informedtraveler, or on X @informedtraveler. That's where you'll find videos and images from our Florida partners that we're featuring on this week's show. And just to reiterate, we're doing something just a little bit different on our show this week. A number of different destinations from Florida. We're in Vancouver last week, so I got the chance to chat with all of them in a short meet and greet, speed dating type fashion, asking them 3 or 4 questions to get to know what each destination in Florida has to offer. So far, we've learned what the areas of Polk County in Central Florida and Ocala Marion County have to showcase. So let's continue now with this week's special montage of the various destinations from Florida and talk with Stacy Young. She is the Communications and PR Manager for Destin Fort Walton Beach. And here is that conversation for you now. I started the last chat the same way. Destin Fort Walton Beach. I have no idea where that is. And I've been to Florida many times, so I'm learning a lot. So tell us where it is and what makes it unique.
Yes, so we're on the northwest Florida side of the state, and we're on the Gulf side. So beautiful, crystal clear water, emerald and gorgeous, and sugar white sand beaches.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
Yes.
So what are some of the attractions, some of the activities people love to do there?
Yeah, so beyond the beautiful beaches, we also have the Destin Harbor. So we're home to the nation's largest for-hire commercial fishing fleet. So we also have a really amazing harbor culture. You can head down to the harbor and go out with one of our charter fleet captains, and they will show you the ropes so you can go deep sea fishing and catch grouper, mahi, and then obviously all that fresh catch comes into our harbor restaurant, so you can have a delicious meal as well.
Nice.
Yes.
So if you're a boating lover, like to be on the water, this is the place, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We're surrounded by water, so it makes it a perfect place to come. We obviously enjoy the beaches, but get out on the water and try something new too. So things like snorkeling, paddleboarding, all of those adventure activities are really great. We actually have a filter system on our website. We have what are called little adventures. So you can go on the website and search and filter by, if you have kids, by age, and all of the best activities and adventures will pull up, and there's videos you can watch. So it's a great planning tool when you're planning your vacation to Destin Fort Walton Beach.
Cool. Any special events that are happening?
Yes, we have a really unique one upcoming in May. We are home to the world's largest lionfish tournament. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with lionfish. They are an invasive species, so they're not great for our Gulf waters, but they actually are delicious to eat. They're spearfished by scuba divers. So they go out and spearfish, and there's a tournament and they win big prizes. But then we also host a restaurant week. So all of our local restaurants serve lionfish in unique ways. It's just really fun. There's a festival down at the harbor, and that's upcoming in May. May
Sucks to
16th
be
and
sucks to
17th.
be a lionfish in in that area.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you got that. Anything else?
Yeah, we also have a really robust artificial reef program. So we have over 580 reef sites off the coast of Destin, Fort Walton Beach, and that includes about 35 large vessels, wrecks. So it is a great destination for scuba diving. We also will be soon deploying the SS United States as the world's largest artificial reef right off our coast.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
so it'll be a bucket list scuba dive for those that are a little more adventurous.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned lionfish is good to eat. Is that one of the local dishes that I should try?
Definitely, yes. The lionfish is definitely good, but I also recommend the grouper, mahi. As I mentioned before, all of that fresh catch comes into our local restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And another unique one is royal red shrimp. They're delicious. They're a large, beautiful pink shrimp that is just divine.
So if you love seafood and being on the water, this is a top spot to be.
Yeah. And from the family side too, we also offer, if you have kids, free classes out on the beach with our Little Adventures Outpost. So we partner with our local businesses and kids can try things like pin fishing, surfing, snorkeling, and try something new.
Cool. I would imagine the water is quite calm, right? Being located where you are.
Yes, that's why it makes it ideal to get out and snorkel and paddleboard. It's pristine, beautiful, and such a focus for us. We have 10 marine biologists on our team that keep our natural beauty in the area perfect.
Awesome. Stacy Young is the Community and Public Relations Manager for Destin Fort Walton Beach. And beach is underlined there because it sounds like the beaches are fantastic there. You can check out more information on their website, destinfwb.com. It was great chatting with you, Stacy. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Come visit.
Up next is Mary Haven, Senior Director of Public Relations for Visit Florida Keys and Key West. And here's our chat with Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Randy. How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. The last couple of Florida destinations that we chatted with, I had to ask where it was. This one, I don't have to ask that question. I know where the Florida Keys are.
I know, right?
And they are very unique. But for those who have never been, tell us what makes the Keys unique.
Oh my goodness. I've lived in Florida my whole life, and I tell you, the Florida Keys is next level. It's that bucket list destination that whenever I tell somebody, when they ask me where I work and I tell them, I wish I could have the camera pointing to them because the expression on their faces, oh, wow, how lucky are you? And, I say that every single day. It's a very relaxed, chill vibe here. When I cross the county line coming from South Florida, I'm born and raised in Miami, but when I cross that county line into Monroe County, everything just melted away. This stress, it's a chilled, slow down, intentional, relaxed vibe. 125 miles of sheer perfection with these turquoise water, 43 bridges. The best part, I would say, the most unique part of the Keys, people want to get places fast. Here, we tell you to sit back and slow down. It's that drive and the overseas highway, that iconic 125-mile drive that is panoramic. And I tell you, Randy, there is no filter. That water is that minty green turquoise, and it is just everything perfection.
Very nice. And it is one of the places where you kind of do have to rent a car. Otherwise, you don't get the full experience, right?
Yeah, correct. And we get quite a few people that come into the destination and, whether flying into Miami or into Key West, they want to do that drive. And I highly recommend it.
So what are some of the attractions that must see? I know we are very short for time, so you can probably list off a whole bunch, but give us some highlights.
Yeah, happy to do it. I'll run through it really quickly. Of course, I'm going to start in Key West with the Hemingway Home and Museum, Ernest Hemingway. Interesting to see his beautiful home that is preserved there. And one of the cool things about that is, did you know you can actually rent out his writing studio? If you want it. Are you looking for inspiration to get creative? Also, the Dry Tortugas National Park. It is 70 miles off of the coast of Key West, accessible by seaplane, which I highly recommend, or by the ferry, which takes about 2.5 hours. It is just spectacular. Snorkeling, walking around the historic fort, the Truman Little White House. You can take the ride in the presidential limo and around Key West. One of the new things in the destination is a Key West cooking show. We call it Dinnertainment, where you don't have to cook. You sit back and you watch them cook, and it's conch cuisine, everything about the island, a little bit of history mixed in there. The Turtle Hospital, Dolphin Research Center. Of course, if you want to have the iconic experience in the Keys in Isla Morada, Robbie's in Isla Morada, where you can feed the tarpon. That's quite the thrill. History of Diving Museum. And then in Key Largo, the John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park, which is a crown jewel of the destination.
Nice. Any special events that you might have coming up?
Yes, actually, one of the great ones coming up. Did you know that a lot of the people that you're hearing on the radio right now got their start at the Key West Songwriters Festival? I didn't know that. And it's some of the greatest country music singers. So think about Nashville invading the Florida Keys. This year's the 30th anniversary of the Key West Songwriters Festival. That's April 30th through May 3rd. Then we have Hemingway Days, which is a 3-day festival, and folks come and they dress up like Ernest Hemingway. It's like super amazing. We have the Key Lime Festival over July 4th weekend.
Oh, that'd be good.
We have a tribute to Jimmy Buffett, who passed away a couple years ago, and it's called Just a Few Friends Key West, taking a line from one of his songs. And it's a 3-day festival paying homage and honoring the life of Jimmy Buffett. It's quite moving. I highly recommend it. That's in September over Labor Day weekend. And the last festival I will tell you about is Fantasy Fest. I will tell you that's something to see. It's a 10-day festival of everything artistic and costumes and celebrations. Something not to miss.
Oh, that'd be fun. When is that one?
That is October.
Okay. Give me a dish I must try if I'm at a restaurant.
Okay, so can we talk here? Key lime pie, 3 words. How do you want it? You want it dipped in dark chocolate? Do you want it with the big controversy apparently with the key lime pie, if you didn't know this, is there's like a debate. Do you want it with the the meringue topping, Mile High, or do you want it with the whipped cream? And Southern Living did a whole feature spread on this, and it was one of the most popular articles. I'd say key lime pie, anything fresh seafood, and of course conch, because we are the Conch Republic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would try key lime pie anyway. Like just serve me key lime pie, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's right. Yummy.
Mary Haven is the Senior Director of Public Relations for Visit Florida Keys and Key West, their website. Because we could go on, Mary, but it wouldn't be fair to the rest. Visit FloridaKeys.com, where you can find out all the information where to get the best key lime pie. Thanks for your time, Mary. It was a pleasure chatting.
My pleasure, Randy. Thank you so much.
Lindsay Steck Jackson is our next guest on our special montage of guests from the Florida area this week. Lindsay is the Marketing and Communications Manager for Visit Pensacola. And here's my conversation now with Lindsay all about the great reasons to visit Pensacola. What makes Pensacola, Florida, a unique visit compared to the rest of your counterparts?
Oh, well, first of all, we're at the top of the state, so we're easy to get to. We also are the only destination between Mobile and Jacksonville with a walkable historic downtown. That includes the Big Five. So that's an accredited art museum, ballet, theater, and opera. But then we also have 40 miles of sugar white sand beaches. And I'd say the vibe is really unpretentious and very approachable. So it's a little more affordable, I think, than some of our neighbors, but it's got a whole lot of culture and some fun things to do.
Well, I love beaches, so that's a plus right there. So
yeah.
Tell me about some of the things people like to do. Obviously, if you have a beach, that's some of it, but some of the other attractions, you kind of touched on it there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we're known for sugar white sand beaches, the emerald water of the Gulf, but we do have Fort Pickens and the Gulf Islands National Seashore. It's the longest federally protected seashore in the United States. So somebody looking for that really cool national park experience, but a national seashore is so interesting, so gorgeous, and you can't build on it. So it really feels like you're out in the wild. We also have, from an attraction standpoint, we're also America's first settlement. So we were founded in 1559, before St. Augustine, before Jamestown.
Oh,
So
wow.
we have this really unique area downtown called Historic Pensacola Village. So there's the America's First Settlement Trail. There's over 20 historic museums and properties that you can tour. And I'd say it's a very multi-gen activity. So like
Mhm.
the kids aren't going to get bored. There's lots of hands-on things. Like they can touch it, feel it. They're not going to break anything. So that's pretty unique as well. And then
Mhm.
my personal favorite is we are home to the Blue Angels. Do you know what the Blue Angels are?
They're jet pilots, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So they're the Navy's flight demonstration team, but they are based in Pensacola and they have practices twice a week. So you can see them for free. I think the coolest experience is actually taking a boat out in the bay. There's lots of tour operators and you can watch them.
Oh, cool. That would be cool. Can you actually like go into the aircraft, or do they have tours of that, or no?
So there is the National Naval Aviation Museum that's on NAS Pensacola. So
Mhm.
that's actually where it's the largest naval museum in the world. They have over 150 aircraft. They do have some planes in there where you can get in the cockpits and things like that. The same size level as the
Yeah.
Smithsonian. So it's really neat. It's really unique.
Uh-huh. You could spend a whole day just there, I would think.
100%. There's even a back
Mhm.
hangar. There's a really unique new POW exhibit as well. So just for anybody that enjoys history and hands-on history, there's a lot to do.
Yeah, I just raised my hand. I do. Um, any special events that are coming up?
Yeah, so let's see. We're going into it's the end of spring. So Pensacola is also nicknamed the Festival City of the South. So we have over 20 signature events year round that have been going on for 15 years or longer. So coming up in 2 weeks, we have what's called the Floribama Interstate Mullet Toss, and that is a fun, funky time. And I'm talking the fish, not the hairstyle. So you can come down, listen to country music, throw a fish across the border at the state of Alabama, all in good fun. So that's unique. We have the Crawfish Festival coming up May into June and July. It's warm, it's beach weather, but we are opening some exhibits around America's 250th birthday. So there's going to be a really nice exhibit at the History Museum in downtown Pensacola. And then our local birthday or, biggest celebration. We have the Blue Angels Air Show that's in July. It's usually about a week or so after July 4th. So just a lot of good stuff. But we have reoccurring events. We have bands on the beach every Tuesday. It's free music.
Fun.
Gallery night, the third Friday of every month. It's where all the art galleries come out. It's like a big street festival. So it's kind of nice if you can't base it, you can kind of hit something every month, which is really unique.
Mm-hmm. And so now if we're sitting in a restaurant and I'm asking what I should try that's a local dish, what would you recommend?
Well, Florida's known for seafood, of course. So I think that's what people expect and what they want. But some core dishes, grits yaya at the Pensacola Fish House is really unique. Grits are inherently Southern. So I think we
Yes.
do them really well up in Northwest Florida. And I think when people hear Florida, they don't always think of the South. And feel like we're this really cool area where you get that Florida lifestyle, but with that Southern hospitality. So
Mm-hmm.
grits yaya is delicious. It's got those Gouda cheddar grits, those wonderful blackened shrimp, and then our signature drink, it's called the Bushwhacker. So it's like a frozen, boozy coffee mocha milkshake.
Oh my, that sounds good. Especially after a day at the beach, I would think.
So good. Got to be real careful, though, how many you drink.
Very true. Well, it sounds amazing. Country music and history and beaches. That's enough for me right there. So people can check out your website, visitpensacola.com. Lindsay Steck-Jackson is the marketing and communications manager for Visit Pensacola. It was fun chatting with you, Lindsay. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Randy. And come on down to Florida.
And last but certainly not least is my chat with Andrew Ricketts. He's the head of PR in Canada for Fort Myers, Islands, Beaches, and Neighborhoods. FortMyers.com is the website. And here's our chat with Andrew. I'm excited to hear about the islands, beaches, and neighborhoods of Fort Myers. Tell me what makes them unique from your other counterparts we've been chatting with.
It is a mouthful. Islands, Fort Myers Island, beaches, and neighborhoods. Yeah, but we are located in Southwest Florida on the Gulf of Mexico. Fort Myers has over 50 miles of white sand beaches. We have more than 100 coastal barrier islands off the coast of Fort Myers, and also 190 miles of kayaking trails. The
That'd be
destination,
fun.
yeah. So if you're a nature lover, it's definitely the place to go. We have some of the top birding in the nation, birding destinations, and kayaking trails. Like I said, over 190 miles. The Calusa Blue Way is perfect for paddling and kayaking. So if you're a nature lover, it's the place to be.
Well, that covers a little bit of the activities that people like. So what are some of the attractions that people might stop by and visit?
One of the cool attractions is we are known as seashell capital of the world and also tarpon capital of the world. So people who are interested in tarpon fishing, this is the place to catch tarpon fishes. Capital is the title that we hold. And on Sanibel Island, it's one of the best places to go shelling because of the way that the island's positioned. It's positioned east to west. So all of the shells wash in from the Gulf of Mexico. So people come from all over the world to, in search of over 400 species of shells, which is amazing if you are into shelling.
I didn't realize there is that many species of shells. So that in itself is amazing. How many islands are there, though? How many islands, and are they easy to access?
There's over 100 islands off the coast. They are easily accessible by boat. A lot of the operators in Fort Myers operate different tours. So one of the notable operators would be Captiva Cruises, and they offer cruises out to Cabbage Key Island every week, Cabbage Key, Usepa. And like I said, you can also island hop. There's so many different islands, Cayo Costa, Boca Grande, North Captiva, all accessible by boat. So take a bag, pack a picnic, and go out with your friends and enjoy the day.
Sounds cool. Any special events people should take note of?
Definitely. We have the Island Hopper Songwriter Festival coming up. This year, it's going to be its 11th year. It's from September 18th to the 27th. It's a 10-day music festival in Southwest Florida. It features performances from BMI singer-songwriters from Nashville and nationwide. The festival is broken up into 4 locations in Fort Myers, first kicking off on Captiva Island, then it goes to Cape Coral, downtown Fort Myers, and then it always ends in Fort Myers Beach.
Nice.
So, there's over 60 plus shows, and most of them are all free, and people come out to hear different songwriters and songs that you never thought knew who wrote them. You get to see the face behind who wrote the song, and then they sing them live.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah. Anything else? As far as events, I mean?
In terms of events,
yeah.
That's one of the main things. We also have a sand sculpting competition that happens every year, I think around June, which is cool if you're into sand sculpting on Fort Myers Beach. And so those would be the 2 of the main things to check out would be Island Hopper Festival and sand sculpting competition.
Cool. Okay, we're sitting on a deck and we're hungry, and someone is serving us food. What dish should I try that's local that would be yummy?
Well, there's no shortage of waterfront restaurants in Fort Myers, but I would definitely recommend having the Cheeseburger in Paradise. At Cabbage Key Island, it is said and rumored that Jimmy Buffett wrote his song Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Wrote the song Cheeseburger in Paradise after having the cheeseburger at Cabbage Key. Another cool thing about Cabbage Key is when you go to this restaurant, first of all, it's only accessible by boat. And when you go to the restaurant is covered in over $70,000 worth of $1 bills on the ceilings, the walls, everywhere in this restaurant. So it's really cool. Visitors who come for the cheeseburger They write their name down on a dollar bill, tape it to the wall or ceiling, and yeah, the whole restaurant is covered in money.
That would be unique in itself. Well, that all sounds amazing. Fort Myers, islands, beaches, and neighborhoods. You can find out all kinds of information on there, including the famous burger from Jimmy Buffett that he made.
Exactly.
FortMyers.com is the website, and Andrew Ricketts is the head of public relations for Canada for Fort Myers, islands, beaches, and neighborhoods. Appreciate the chat, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
So that concludes our insight into the 6 Florida destinations that were in Vancouver last week, promoting their particular area of Florida. I want to thank each and every one of our destination representatives for participating, and you can find out more information on all of them on the Visit Florida website at visitflorida.com. And I encourage you to go on our social media pages too, at facebook.com/Informed Traveler, Instagram at Informed Traveler, or on X at Informed Traveler. That's where you'll find videos and images from our Florida partners that we featured on this week's show.